Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys. Hello, 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 everybody. Okay, hold on. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys. Hello, 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 everybody. Okay, hold on. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Is that better? Merry Christmas. Hope you guys. Hello, 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 everybody. Oh, wow. Hold on. Is that better? Oh, wow. Hold on. All right, guys, I made that mistake. We're going to edit all of that out. I do apologize. It has been a minute since I have live streamed, and so I apparently have forgotten everything about. All right, guys, I made that mistake. We're going to edit all of that out. I do apologize. It has been a minute since I have live streamed, and so I apparently have forgotten everything about. All right, guys, I think I got it now. All right, so if you have joined me from the very beginning of this video, I am going to edit all of that out and load it back up for you guys, but we are going to edit all of that out because it is the new year. Not the new year, it is Christmas, the holidays. Apparently I have a holiday brain because I just forgot to do things. Anyway, hey everybody, hey stamping peeps, welcome to my channel. Sweet's Stampin' Creations, where creativity knows no bounds. I am your host this evening. I am Caron Bailey, the ATX Stampin' Lady. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I am here today to help you explore this new hobby this hobby may be new to you, new to some, but not new to others. But it may be something that you're interested in learning a little bit more about. And I'm glad that you've chosen tonight to join me to figure out a little bit more about what's going on. Anyway, come on into the craft room and let's get started. It is the last Friday of the month. And in the last Friday of the month, I'm going to go live. Generally, I get my paper pumpkin kit maybe about the second or third week of the month. And so I'm going to do the paper pumpkin craft together. I'm going to do that as the last Friday of the month because depending on where I get mine, it's just easier to plan it to do the last Friday of the month. So are you a paper pumpkin subscriber? If you are not a subscriber, you guys, please if you're interested after you see this evening, just go ahead and reach out to me and I will tell you how to go ahead and subscribe. I will put a link in the description box that will tell you how to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin if you are not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. If you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber and you do have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, love it. Thanks for joining me anyway. What I'm going to do this evening is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create, when I do paper pumpkins, part of what I do is I create each of the projects that were created by the designer. I do an unboxing for you. I create the one card or the one of each, and then I try to go ahead, depending on the time, how much time we've been together, I do try to go ahead and create a couple of alternatives at the same time. Now, I haven't been live with you guys on my YouTube channel in a very long time. So tonight will probably be a very long night for you guys. I am just going to keep crafting until I think I'm done. So I hope you can join me for the specified amount of time. If you are watching on the replay, just hit #replay. I do tend to give gifts for people that interact with me on this channel. So let's go. What I have here, this is the December host code. If you are shopping with me as your demonstrator, please use the month's host code if you're placing an order of $149 or less. If you are placing an order of $150 or more, please don't use this host code. Reach out to me so that I can help you maximize and get the most benefits by placing a $150 order. Every person that places an order with me in $50 or more, you do get the opportunity, you do get a free gift from me just for shopping in my online store and placing a $50 order. If you don't place a $50 order, that's fine. You enter into the monthly drawing. At the end of the month, I do a drawing for everyone that places an order in my online store, and you are eligible also to receive a gift or a prize of some sort. So the December Paper Pumpkin Kit is called Notes from the Hearts, December 2024. And there's 9 cards that can be created with this bundle. And so I'm going to create for you this evening one of each of these. And then I'm going to also try to create maybe 2. I'm going to go with 2. Try for 3, but I'm going to go with 2 additional cards. Now, what's in our kit? Let's go ahead and take a look and see what's in our kit. Okay, so we've got some vellum leaves right here. Right, and I do try to get them ready as I'm taking you through exactly how I prepare to do paper pumpkin kits when I'm doing them. And there's this French term, and I'm probably going to say it wrong. I believe it's called mise en place. Mise, M-I-S-E-N-P-L-A-C. I think it's just to make sure that everything is in its place. It's kind of how it translates. And so in order to do that, I just make sure that I get everything, the pre-die cut, laser cut in pieces. I just go ahead and get them separated and ready for use. Now, you guys, these trays are scrapbook.com, and I find them very useful for when I'm actually doing stuff like this. Even when I'm die cutting, and I'm putting a lot of things in place, I'll go ahead sometimes and die cut a whole bunch of stuff, and then I will, while I'm using them, I just reach into the trays. At the end, I'll have little baggies, and I'll put everything in a little baggie, label them with the name of the kit. And you guys, don't save at least one of these, okay? Because you can go ahead and blend, use this as a mask, and you can do an outline of this figure. So if you're interested in that, save at least one piece of the vellum, okay? What else do you get in the kit? You get a piece, a roll of, what is this called? Double-sided tape. We get an ink spot, Blackberry Bliss. We get our stamp right here. We get our little jacket, which I've already put together for our stamp. We have 9 envelopes. As you can see, we have 9 card bases, scalloped in this particular case. And then we have the rest of our die cuts. So again, I'm just going to go ahead, take a few minutes. It's just easier once you have these all put together or pulled apart to just reach in and grab what you need. Now, I do try to get them all done at once. You don't have to do that, but I do try to get them all done at once. Now, again, once you've separated all of this, you can go ahead and save one of them to use as an outline if that's what you're wanting to do. And I'll show you what I mean by using it as a mask outline. Okay, so that we have those. We have these are labels or matte pieces. Ooh, These are sticky, so we're not gonna separate them. Okay? We're gonna use those as we need them. These are also sticky. Nope, these are die cuts. Y'all have a wonderful Christmas. Oh my gosh. My vacation or my holiday, my sister and I, we do what's called a sister cruise. That's what we call them, sister cruises. Because it's just her and I, and we just go and we travel and we do whatever we're gonna do. So, but this year we went on a cruise. Again, same as this. Don't delete the you can save one, and then I'll show you what I mean about using them as a mask. All right, so that's all. I think we had some gems somewhere, and I don't know what I did with the gems because I didn't see them pop out anywhere. Huh. Okay, well, I guess that means we'll use our own gems. Not a problem. Now, with the what happens with the Stampin' Up kits is that we have what's called a die add-on. And so when you get this die add-on, you can do additional things with the, is this the right one? No, I don't, could be. So you get additional, you can do additional things now that you have these dies. Oh, that's not the right one. I know I just saw it too. I did. I just had it. It's not necessary to use them or to have it. You can create the cards without them. That is the purpose of the kits. You do not need anything additional to create them, but if you are wanting to go ahead and create different projects, then yes, you would need additional products. All right, so then you have that. So then you also have what's called the instruction sheet that comes in the kit. And one of my favorite things about the instruction sheets is, you guys, we have got a measuring device right here. I know a lot of people don't think a lot about it, but I have the ruler there, but also if I'm trying to measure really quickly, I can just use this. Now, the benefit of this is when you are traveling, if you grab a paper pumpkin kit that you want to go ahead and utilize as you travel, then it's quite easy because everything is already put together. Okay, you don't need to grab a ruler, none of that stuff. Everything is as it should be. All right, so then the first thing that you'll see here, it just tells you all the parts and pieces that you will need to make each of the cards. So let's just go ahead and put these parts and pieces together. I swear I'm seeing a yellow something on here. Yeah, I'm blind as a bat, so when I see things, I swear I'm seeing a yellow tint on this. All right, so we're going to just grab 3 of these right now, 1, 2, and 3, because we are going to work with just 3 of the main items. And so for card number 1, it tells us we are going to need, and I try to put them exactly as the way they are. We're going to need one of these. I'm missing a lot of things from my kit. Okay, so we're going to need one of those. We're going to need one of the vellum leaves. We're going to need one of these smaller pieces. And we're going to need this flower. Grab my take your pick tool here. Oops. So this is everything with one of those for card number 1. There's going to be some gems and the tape. Because none of them have ribbon. So that's just the tape. I'm going to set that one off to the side. Number 2, we're going to need one of these round labels. We're going to need one of the vellum. And we're going to need this leaf die. And that's that. So let's put that aside. The third one, we're going to need one of the leaves. We're going to need this die cut. Anyway, our cruise, we sailed aboard the Carnival Magic. 1, 2. Okay, that's everybody. So now we're going to start with card number 1. Now, you guys, if you are familiar with Paper Pumpkin, these kits generally don't take that long to put together. It does take a little bit of time because I do a lot of talking, and sometimes talking and stamping do not agree. Okay? So it does take longer when I'm doing lives because I am talking to you, okay? But generally they do not take, they're not meant to take a long period of time. So let's get this cut open. We went on an 8-day cruise and we went to the island of Aruba, the island of Curacao, and the Dominican Republic. Yes, that's where we went. Oh, it was such a wonderful time. Wonderful vacation. All right, so the first stamp set we're going to need is let's play with this a little bit. When you first become a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you will receive a block. Okay? This is the block. This is not the normal block that you'll find for sale as part of the kit, okay? But it is available. It does come in all of our inclusive kits, our all-inclusive kits. So if you do purchase any one of those kits, then you will always get several of these blocks. But these particular blocks are designed for our Paper Pumpkin kits. And I'm just cleaning my block. It was a mess. Okay. Let that dry a little bit before we go ahead and apply our stamp. And so this says that we're going to add the happy birthday. And what I try to do is I try to do all of my stamping ahead of time. That way it's done, and then I can put the ink away because all of the stamping is done, unless I'm going to stamp something on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to grab all of the pieces that need to be stamped. Where's this guy? Okay. But I do try to get all of the stamping out of the way. Okay. The first one says we're going to do happy birthday, and I might just do them all happy birthday because y'all, I need a lot of birthday stamps. I have birthdays coming up. And what I'm doing right now is what's called priming my stamp. And all that is just me running my, conditioning it over, running my fingers over it, trying to get any of that residue from any of the residue gone. You can also, I also, okay, that sounds straight. You can also condition it with Versamark or Versafine, Versamark ink. Get that first stamping going on. And all the conditioning does is just readies the stamp to take that ink. That's all it's meant to do. All right, I'm going to grab a piece of scrap. It's not really scrap paper, but we're going to use it. We're going to call it that. Perfect. All right, so we got happy birthday, first one. And that needs to be on the oval. Are you a neat stamper? I am not. I have come to that realization that I am not a neat stamper. As much as I try, I am not a neat stamper. Now, even though I have conditioned this stamp, I am going to go ahead and just stamp it again. Now that it has ink. Perfect. I love these little ink cubes. They are perfect for travel. Then we're going to try to line this up. Make sure we're somewhat centered. If my head gets into the frame, I apologize. There we go. And if you know anything about me at all, you will know that at some point this is going to be a little bit off center because I just don't stamp straight. That is not my strong suit, stamping straight. It is just not. I recognize that. I acknowledge it. And I just work with that, okay? So I'm gonna do 2 birthdays and 1 just a note, okay? Just because I really don't need any congrats. I don't need any congratulations sentiments right now. So is this gonna fit on this? No. So you see, that's how that's determined. That's exactly how that's determined. I will eventually make something to be, and I might do the other one just a note because I can do with a just a note. Because you can say that for your birthday, right? Just a note to wish you a happy birthday, right? Ugh, this is too big. This will be just exact. This will be just, I'm going to use it. And then let's clean this off. A while back, Stampin' Up made these stamp cleaning pads. I absolutely love them. I wish they would bring them back. Not sure why we stopped using them, but I absolutely love them. I mean, everybody has their preference in terms of what they use to clean their stamps, and that's fine. I even have a scrubber that I'm trying to put my hands on right now. Here it is. Here's one of them. And yes, I do have a Stampin' Up scrubber. I just um several things that I've had prior to becoming a Stampin' Up demonstrator that I just haven't got rid of. But we do have a stamp scrubber. All right, so we'll put this one back on and then we will do a just the note. I think the just the note was in the circle. Yes, so that's the one we're fine now. Okay. We're going to go through the whole conditioning process again. So generally for my paper pumpkin get-togethers, I do them on Zoom. I do invite people, my followers, my customers to join me on Zoom. And then of course we stream. I do, however, because once I go live and I am not really paying attention to the Zoom, I don't have that ability to, to invite people into the room. And so I have to do a little bit of a cutoff. And I set that cutoff to, I wait for about this, the proverbial college 15. I wait about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and then I go live. I give people a chance to come in if they're going to join me, get their beverage, whatever they're going to do. But we need to be in place. Everybody needs to be on by 10 to 15 minutes after start time, just to make sure I'm not even more distracted than I can get. Even more distracted than I can be. All right, so all of our stamping is done now. So we can put everything away, or the ink pad. We can put our block away because we won't need those again. Not for these first 3 cards. All right, so let me just go ahead and clean this and then put it away. And then we'll get ready to get started with assembling our cards. I have a couple of ideas in terms of what I want to do. And I don't know. I should have left one of those on the, where's my little jacket thing here? I'm trying to get better at cleaning as I go. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. But even as I try, I'm always losing things. All right. So the other good thing about what we have here is that it tells you where it wants whatever it is to go. So if you'll take a look, you'll see it tells you to ink up the stamp with the happy birthday and to stamp it on this label. And it'll tell you for this part, it tells you what needs to be done. So as you can see, or maybe you can't see it quite so clearly, we have what are those things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5 is the glue dots. And it's telling you to make sure that we put 3 glue dots on the label. And then we're going to put double-sided tape on the vellum and the floral image. Okay, so let me grab some glue dots. All right. In almost every single paper pumpkin kit that we get, there is glue dots and or the double-sided tape. I generally will not open a new tape because I don't want 12 different tapes open when I can work on finishing with one. So as you can see on this first image, oops, this is a little early for me. I'm a little annoyed with this right now. Yeah, because it's making me work too hard. It is making me work much too hard. All right. So as we can see, if you look at it this way, this is what we're going to have. Seems as if this guy is right. Yeah, that's about right. Now you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be exact, it doesn't have to be perfect, but in the general vicinity. And then these two strips right here showing you that there is score tape or double-sided tape, whatever you want to call it, that is run across the entire piece, like so. And this tape is meant to be that you get tear and tape, so it's meant to be torn. But of course, if you're one of those folks that have to be precise, you can use a scissors or use a block and use it as a straight edge and tamp that down. So that's the first thing that we do with this one. And then for our happy birthday, let's just grab our take your pick tool again, and we're going to put 3. Oops. 1. Oh, why am I doing that? Because it's too far from me. 2 and 3. All right, so everything is put together, right? And so what it said is we're going to grab one of these. And guys, this has adhesive on it, which is why I have not taken it off of the back, okay? I can, but I'm not going to. So the first thing we're going to do, I am so excited. In my mind, I have an idea about what I want to do. Yes. And I probably should not have taken it, but the idea came after I removed it. So I don't know. We'll see how it'll work. All righty. No. That doesn't go on that. This goes directly onto the card front. Okay, so if you know anything at all about how I make cards, not having this on a layer is not something that I do. I would have probably added another layer to this. That's just me. Okay, you stamp how you want. And so I'm gonna probably try to recreate this with how I would make a card, okay? Adding a matte layer and show you how we can take this card from now to a wow, okay? And holy cow, okay? Now I always make sure that before I press anything in place, or there we go. So this card is pretty much done except for some sentiments. Not the sentiment, the bling. Okay, which I'm going to add in just a minute. So what these guys are for are for our envelopes. Okay. All right, let me grab some gems. And again, I seem to have misplaced the gems that came with this. So I'm going to reach into my stash. I got a whole stash. It's a little harsh. Just bear with me, guys. I'm going through and trying to find. Well, let's go with these. Now these are from the I can tell you exactly what they are. These are the 2022-2024 in color gems that I'm using. Yes, I know. But I'm just reaching into my stash since I seem to have misplaced the gems that came in the kit. I will find them. I know I will. But I will find them more than likely after I've done. Okay. Okay, so card number 1 is done according to the instructions. All right. Let's start on card number 2. I'm going to bring all of them back in just a little bit when they're done, and then I'm going to start on the others. Okay. Card number 2 is our just a note. So for that one, we've already pulled what we need. And again, you can see how the images are laid out. So that's going to be like that. Okay. And then I'm just going to flip it over. Add our double-sided tape. Y'all, I just had that tape. All right. Did anybody see where I put it? Well, isn't that funny? I mean, it's really not funny, but isn't that funny? It was right here, and now it's not. This is ridiculous. And I only have myself to blame because I know I put it somewhere. All right. So instead of holding the whole show up, which I can't believe I just really misplaced that. No, I just said I didn't want to start one. As soon as I open this, I'm going to find that thing. I am. There it is. What did I tell you? only I didn't open it. All right. So now all we're going to do is we're going to run some tape from there to there. Now just make sure to get the vellum piece under the adhesive, guys. Okay? Because part of the purpose of that is to secure the adhesive or the vellum as well. Okay? Put that there. All right, so this guy is done. And all I'm doing with the butt of the cap on the Take Your Pick tool is just running it over it, burnishing the adhesive just to make sure that everything sticks. All right. Let's get number 2 situated. And that's how quickly these guys are prepared. Guys, even if you are a novice card maker, you could make 9 cards lickety-split with this kit and totally be card worthy. Hallmark presentation and everything. Just a note. All right, here's some things that I could think of that we can do to jazz this up again, including so again, in addition to adding a matte layer, I would also maybe put a little bit of silver, maybe gold, because there's gold in the leaf, some gold twine. There, adding some bows maybe. Oops. Da-da-da-da. Okay, so this one is now done also in accordance with the instructions. These are some simple cards that you can create with the kit. And then we're just going to jazz this up just a little bit. Okay, here's number 2. And we've got one more card to finish. Let's just grab another envelope while we've got this in our hand. It's supposed to be pretty rainy tomorrow. But I was looking forward to going on a 4-mile walk with my walking group. I have a walking group. Well, I don't have the group. It's a bunch of us that work together or used to work together, that we get together every Saturday and we go for a walk. Generally, we walk about 5 miles, 4 to 5 miles. We've done as much as 6 or 7. It just all depends on what's going on. If we're training for a race, because we participate in 3K walks, runs, 5Ks. One of the girls even wanted to do a marathon. She wants to do the full marathon. So we just set goals and we just get to working on whatever it is we want to complete. All right, so this guy seems to be over here. And I'm just looking, if you wanted to be very precise, although you don't have to be. Here's something that I'm going to show you, okay? If you're wanting to be precise, especially how you're lining the image, the vellum piece up with the die cut, take a look at this little area right here, and you'll see exactly where that stem aligns to the vellum. And if you're looking for precision, if you're looking for any kind of precision, just make sure that this is in the same general vicinity as you can see on this. Oops, you can't see it. Let's see if with you can see it any better. How's that? So if you can see where right here the stem part aligns with the vellum, if you're looking for precision in how to line this up, use that as a guide. Okay. I'm not looking for it to be so precise. I'm wanting it to be kind of sort of in the vicinity that I'm okay with. So I'm just using that as a guide. Okay. Oh yeah. So what I'm also trying to make sure, yeah, there we go. Then flip it over, grab our tape. Make sure we run it. And then we run some again. Okay. Then we're going to burnish our adhesive. Um, and just like that, guys, we've got 3 of the 9 cards completed. Now, I'm going to share with you what was running through my brain. Okay. I'm going to grab some alcohol markers. Oh, yeah. And I changed the sentiment on this one because I do need birthday cards more than I need a congratulations card. So I changed the sentiment and I did 2 birthdays, 2 birthdays and adjust the note. Never you fear. Okay. And then this is just going to go right here. Okay. Now I don't have any purple in this bunch. Although this blue does look a little purplish, I don't want to use that. It is just too blue. So I'm going to grab this pink again because there's pink in here. And I'm going to work with that. Okay. Guys, just like that, card number 3 is complete. All right, so here we have our 3 cards created in accordance with the instructions provided in the paper December 2024 paper pumpkin kit. They're all very beautiful cards, and I'm probably, depending on the time, I'm gonna step this up just a notch, but I want to play with an idea that I had, and so let's just get started. Okay. I'm going to grab a little piece of scrap paper. Okay. All right, so this is going to be greens. So I want them, that's a mossy meadow. So mossy meadow's in there. I'm going to need a lighter. So let's go with mossy meadow. Let's go with want a little bit of color. I don't think they're shaded spruce. Ugh. All right, let's go with not pear old olive, and we'll need the dark old olive. And then I want a lighter, a really light. So I'm going to pull a retired parakeet party. All right, so let me grab a piece of cardstock. And I'm going to just do some alcohol marker. All right. Probably come back and add some more. But right now, all I'm going to do is just add them wherever I can. And this is perfect. You're going to see, because this is alcohol, we're going to see this marbling effect. I'm going to go with this one. Hmm. And there is no right or wrong to how this is done. See, I need some in here. There's no dark. Okay. All right, let's hope this works. All right, so I'm gonna look for, I need a brush, and I need some alcohol. Where are all my brushes when I need them? This one might not work. There's a blue color in it. Yeah. So let's put, and yes, I do keep 91% alcohol, isopropyl alcohol in my craft room. I don't think this is gonna work. See, there's color in there. There's too much color in there. I told you I have 1,000,001 brushes in here. You probably would not believe me, but I do. There we go. This one might work. And it's brand new. All we're gonna do is we're gonna take and just add it on here. And because it's alcohol, it dries very quickly. You're going to see this awesome effect when I lift this up. So does everybody have plans for New Year's Eve? Okay, I think that's enough. Otherwise, we'll just get rid of all the color, and we don't want to do that. Okay. We'll just set that aside. And I'm going to just bring the heat tool. Do you guys see that leaf that we just created? Look at that. All right. Well, that needs to be cleaned too. All right, so here is our, look at this that we just created, you guys. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? So we just spiced this up from this to this. We just gave just a little bit of interest to our vellum piece. All right, so that part's done. So we're gonna use that on our next card. Let's see what we want to do here. Okay. And sometimes it just pays to go simple. Oh, I know what paper I want to use. I know. Give me a moment. Let me go find it. Regal Flora is the paper that I'm looking for. The designer series paper. Yep. Mm-hmm. You know, when you have things already, it was not planned, this card. Oh, this one might work too. Regal Flora is where I want to be. All right, give me a moment. Give me just a minute. Here we go. I found her. Okay. So this is our Regal Flora Designer Series paper. And now I'm just trying to figure out what print I want to use. You have a preference? I'm going to go with the purple, I think. All right. So let's get this card put together. Put this up. Right, because we're going to need to put the remaining pieces of designer paper away. Um, we are also going to need some basic white. I'm going to grab a quarter panel of basic white. A quarter panel is 4¼ by 5½. I'm going to trim this down to 4 by 5¼ I believe. Mm, yeah, let's go 3¾ by 5. That's what we're going to cut. And then I'm going to cut a piece of designer series paper. And I want this to be let's go 3¼ by 3¼ All right, so I'm gonna go, I should have done that's 3¾ by 5. So I'm gonna go with a 3¾ square, not 3¼ Then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim this on a diagonal. Now this is kind of non-directional paper. I don't have to pay that close of attention. So that means we can make 2 cards out of this, right? Or we can make 1 by flipping the other side. I don't want to do that. So we're going to put this on here like so. We're going to grab our vellum like so. I think I want, oh, another idea. I'm going to grab my Poised Peony stamp set. Now, again, this is what happens when I'm creating on the fly, you guys, because I am creating on the fly. As the ideas are coming, that's how I'm creating that card. So this part does take a little bit of extra time. Again, if I had had all of this in my head prior to starting, probably wouldn't take so long, but I'm creating on the fly. Okay. All right. Make sure we have pressure and good transfer of ink. Perfect. Grab our clear embossing powder. And a piece of scrap. If you're new to embossing powders, it's we do have, Stampin' Up does have a kit, an embossing kit. It does come with a tray. It comes with the tools, a reversible pair of reversible tweezers. It comes also with a brush. Okay. Now, it's best to use those items, but if you have a piece of scrap paper, guys, that'll work just as well. Yes, I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and guys, my job is to sell you products. But if you already have something and it works for you, there's no need for you to buy something else. Okay? Is Could Stampin' Up probably be better? Probably. But again, totally understanding economics. If you have um, it just doesn't make any sense for you to do. I want you to enjoy the craft. All right, so I'm going to color. I see, so I'm going to use, I think I'm going to do some fresh freesia, maybe some petunia pop. Let's see how those look together. Because this will be my purple. And maybe some pretty in pink. Although I'm thinking I should probably do that bubble gum. Let's try the bubble gum. Bubble bath, not bubble gum. Oops. All right, so here we go with the purples. Now, generally, and there are so many ways to color, you guys. You do not have to color the way I color if that is not how you learned or your preference. But I try to add my highlights first. That's what I try to do. Or where I think the shadows are going to fall. Whatever it is I want to bring to the front. And then sometimes when you don't know, you kind of just make it up as you go. You know what I mean? So we've got that. And then I'll go in with my next darkest color, which would be my light. And this is Fresh Freesia. And I'm going to go in with the ball. Oops, not the fine. Oh, I didn't put any over here. Oops, I don't know how I forgot that part. But I sure did. Then I'm going with my next lightest. And then I'm going to just lightly go over, and because these are small areas, I'm not going to add too much. Some of them, you might not even be able to get a lot of the shading in. And then here is my next lightest. All right. Then the next I'm going to go with is my, I think, the Petunia Pop, but I'm not sure how much darker that would be because I might end up skipping over, let's see, that versus, yeah, Petunia Pop is lighter. I'm going to skip the dark Petunia, and I'm going to add, let's see how that fares in there. Still darker. So we're going to end up skipping Petunia Pop because it's just too dark. Then we're going with our our dark bubble bath. Right? And then we're going to finish it all up with our light. And we're going to take the light and we're going to go over the entire piece, making sure everything is blended. Okay. So do you see how we have a couple of depth of color going on here? And as it dries, you'll see it even more, okay? Now I need some greens for, okay, there we go. Greens are already here. We're gonna just go with our Old Olive and Parakeet Party. Those are the colors we're gonna go with, okay? Again. Now, sometimes with drawing flowers or coloring flowers or those types of images, as all you got to do is just follow the artist's renderings, because they will tell you where you should have some sort of shading, some sort of highlighting. Okay. Hmm. All right, and the last thing we're gonna do is blend those out with our parakeet party. Remember, with our blends, they will dry lighter. These were the same greens that we used to create our flower, to create our other leaf that we use with the alcohol. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry for a quick second. And then I'm going to go over it one more time with the parakeet party. In the meantime, let me go ahead and put these guys away, because I'm trying to be a neater stamper, so that when I end the video tonight, I don't have a whole mess that I gotta put back, right? All right. So we've let that dry just a little bit, and then I'm just going to go over it. I'm not going to do the whole thing this time because as I go over it, it's just going to add another layer of this color. So you'll see that it'll seem like there's 3 different shades in here when there's really just the 2 colors that we used. Okay. And that's a quick tip as well. If you don't have a lot of different colors or like a light and a dark or whatever it is, just let them dry completely. And these weren't completely dried, but just let them dry completely in between applications. And then you'll see that, yeah, then you'll see, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to now die cut this, or, well, no dies, fussy cut this. I must have had embossing powder on here. And I'm going to try to fussy cut this as quickly as I can. All right, so the tip, what's my number 1 tip when it comes to fussy cutting? You guys, I love to fussy cut. I mean, it's my preferred, not preferred. I would prefer to haul out my scan and cut, scan this image in and have the scan and cut die cut this out for me, but that would be a whole nother lengthy process, not for video consumption. And so the next quickest thing for me is to die cut or to fussy cut. And when we're fussy cutting, again, what do we use? We use our non-dominant hand, in this case, my left hand, and I'm using that to turn. So I don't turn my scissors or anything like that. I turn the cardstock. And if you keep that scissor blade exactly where it is, you will end up having a, ooh, I should have done that. It's a tip that I learned. You will end up having a pretty consistent border all the way around because you are turning the paper and not the cardstock or the scissors. Okay. I'm a little hungry. Did y'all have dinner tonight? I usually go live about 8. That gives myself time to get home from work, to have dinner, and still get prepped for you guys. So that's why that's why I stamp usually at 8 o'clock. I worked from home today, so I had a little bit more time. Yeah. So if I don't speak a lot while I'm fussy cutting, it is because I'm fussy cutting. I do have to pay attention. And again, but sometimes talking just completely distracts me. What I'm going to do after I finish this one card is I am going to prepare one of the other designs, and I'm going to step it up the way I would if I were making the card. Well, I am making that card, but to please my own aesthetic. Okay. You see how that turn just made? Watch how I make this turn, right? The scissors does not move. It is, well, I expanded it, right? But all I did was that turn, and look at how I'm still consistent with that little bit of a border. That is the number one tip that I can offer as far as fussy cutting. Once I learned that myself, my goodness, fussy cutting was no longer a problem for me. I could do it. I won't say in my sleep, but I could do it and be very confident with the product, my end product. All right. I'm going to do one other thing for today. This is purple. I'm going to find, what is purple? And all I'm doing is that pretty white border I just made. I'm kind of hiding it a little bit. And I'm using the color purple because I kind of want it to blend in with the designer paper. Sorry, this is just such a fine line that I do have to pay just a little bit close of attention. Now, just as a tip as well, when I did this, I'm doing this after the fact, but you can make this easier by doing the outlining piece before you fussy cut. Or you die cut, whichever one you're going to do. If you have a set of dies and you want to do this process, I would highly encourage you to add your outline before you fussy cut or die cut. It's just easier. New Year's is coming up. I think I asked already. I don't know if anybody answered me. Do you have New Year's plans? I don't. I think I'm going to ring in the New Year stamp right here in my craft room. If I'm not asleep, of course. All right. So that's done. And now we're going to follow the same example. And I'm glad that this was a little bit smaller because I don't want to completely lose all the nice work that we did on that leaf, right? How we created it. So this is probably going to go here just like so. So let's get this put together. Right. We're going to add this. To here. Gonna add this to here. Using the same concept or the same process that we did. Okay. You would think I would know by now to put things back where I can find them, right? All right. So we've got a little bit going here that we can put. Anything with a straight, oh, I just broke that. What is going on? Okay. Then we can use this. Ugh. I just broke that thing. I don't even know how I did that. Ay, ay, ay. I just broke my leaf. We're going to make it work, y'all. Okay. And the reason we have to be so particular about where the adhesive is because we don't want it to show through on the front. That's enough. I think that'll work. I can't believe I just ripped my leaf off. Well, I just made the biggest boo-boo. I crossed them. Okay. And that I did just to adhere it to together, right? But now I'm going to add some dimension to it. Wherever I can add a dimensional, I'm going to add one. I'm going to cut that in half. Yeah. Because I think it needs some. If you have the Stampin' Up foam strips, you can use that. That will, oops, that will fit right there. And I think we're good. All right, let's get this off. So I want this to kind of go along the seam. It'll decorate it, but also cover it up and hide it, right? And before we do anything else, I'm gonna go right in with my Wink of Stella pen and add me a little bit of bling, a little bit of zhuzh. Okay? I didn't do that before because I didn't want the glitter element to be all over the shimmer element to be all over my hands. All right. And then I'm gonna just grab one of these. And I'm gonna need one more color. I gotta go either get some fresh freesia. Oh, what is that one? I'm not sure. All right. So option number one, we can just put this on some foam tape and pop that up. It'll be a pretty card, but that's not what I want to do. So I'm gonna try to find me, not try. This is Blackberry Bliss. So I'm gonna go find me some Blackberry Bliss cardstock. Hold on, guys, I'm coming. Don't tell me I'm out of black. One color, I'm trying to make sure that I'm favorite. So far. So we trimmed our base to 3 3/4 by 5. So our matte layer needs to be 4 by 5 1/4, or we can just go up an eighth. And I think I'm just going to go up an eighth, right? So this is 3 3/4 by 5. So we're going to cut our matte layer to 5 1/8. And 3 3/4 up an eighth would be 3 7/8. I just want a tiny little border. Okay. Perfect. All right, now let's get this done. Get this card put away, and then work on zhuzhing up one of the other cards. I'm not going to put a sentiment on this one. We can do that at any time. So I'm not going to put a sentiment on it right now. I think I need to have a marathon create and die cut sentiment session Yeah. I do those. Just stamp them out and die cut them. That way they're ready to be used when I need them. I do use Stampin' Dimensionals, you guys. I use them a lot. You saw. But I use so much that I do tend to purchase and use foam tape on big, big rules. That's just how much I use. So what do you guys think of this card so far? Our alternative. All right. Now here's how I try to line these up, right? I'm trying to find um easier ways for me. So I try to keep the longest side closer to me. Hi, Brenda. How are you? I'm just now seeing you. I'm sorry. I did not mean to ignore you if you've been there a while. I just saw that you popped on. All right. So I am just going to kind of eyeball it a little bit. And there we go. Okay. I think I'm off a little bit, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to put this guy right on here. And then when I'm ready for a sentiment, I'll just go ahead and pop that on. More than likely, it will be a birthday because I do need some birthday cards. Perfect. All right. Mm-hmm. And of course, we've got to put gems on everything. So there's one. I'm going to put two on now because if I put that third one on, I might very well just limit myself to where I can put my sentiment. And I don't really want to limit myself. Give myself enough room up there, right? Or here that I can do a sentiment. Because if I were to do that, the sentiment could be here. One could be up there. So I would, just by placing the gems where I did, I gave myself some options. All right, so this is card number 3. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make one more card for you guys tonight. Oh, I know what else I wanted to do with this. I'm going to put, matter of fact, let me just do it instead of saying I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. What's the weather like in Michigan? You know, I always hear horror stories about winters in Michigan, and I see them on the news. Um, So how are you guys doing? Are you guys having some bad weather up there? What's going on? What did I just do with? Oh, I was mentioning earlier the tool part, one of the kits. Here's the reversible tweezers from the kit. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm just going to tie a little bit of a bow, a knot. Put our thread in there. Ugh. Make sure it's centered. And then tie another knot, another loop. And we have our faux bow done. Okay. Put that right there. Oh, and all I do, I just trim off a little piece of double-sided tape, put it where I want that knot to go, burnish that in. Move it. Now we're going to add our bow. Okay. Now I spread everything out just a little bit to take up some of that adhesive. All right. All right, so this is done. Oh, let me trim this off just a little bit. Now we're done. Now we're done with this card. Except for the sentiment, which I'll add later. All right, so here we go. Card number 3 is finished. All right, so I'm going to play with one more. And I'm going to use the exact same things from, except I'm going to zhuzh it up just a bit, the way I would zhuzh it up, right? And I'm going to do... I'm going to go with this one. Okay. Now, give me just a second. Let me put these away. Again, when you're working with the paper pumpkin kits, I always, and I said always, try to make one of each as the designers have created them. And then I may just play around with everything else after that. Sometimes I've created more than, where did this go? Where's my pose stamp set? Sorry about that. I don't know if you heard that, but my stomach is reminding me that I have not had supper yet. All right. All right. So we're going to redo this one, or we're going to make this one again. So again, we have our cutouts, our die cut, laser cut die cut piece. Not wanting to come off. There we go. We have our foliage. Right. And we're going to put our tape. And don't do like I did last time. One. That's two. And again, this part is just to keep the vellum attached. Okay. So now what I want to do So we are going to play with a piece that is, oh, this is already cut. 3 3/4 by 5. So let's see if it'll fit what I'm thinking about, right? So what I want is I want some color. I'm going to play with the designer paper, but they can't be. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do that. Now, in a perfect world, what would I do? I would emboss. I would emboss the basic white piece. So I'd have a little bit of texture. Right? I would have some texture on there before I added these pieces. That's another thing that you could do to add interest to this alternative piece. Okay. Okay. Now I'm just going to add some dimensions. And this is why I use this is why I generally will defer to foam tape. How many, here's to win one of these cards tonight. Answer in the chat. How many dimensionals do you think I'm going to add to this piece? Are you counting? Are you guessing? Now, obviously, if you're watching the replay, your guess won't really count because you'll know, you'll see. All right. Do you think I'm going to add more? Again, this is why I tend to use a lot of foam tape or foam sheets. Because generally I could use an entire sheet of dimensionals on a project. I just have this thing that I don't like. If I were to turn this over and press on it, I just don't want to feel anywhere where it sank in. So that's why I use as many dimensionals as I do. My neuroses would not allow me to do anything less. All right, so how many do you think I used? Let me count them myself. Uh-huh. How many do you think? Y'all, I used 16 dimensionals on this project. 16. 1 6. Yes, that is correct. 1 6. Oh, and I could probably put one there too. Sometimes the best thing to do is tell yourself when to stop. All right. So now that we have this, we are now going to just add our focal piece right here, like so. And then I'm going to grab another piece of our Blackberry Bliss. And again, we're going to cut a piece that's 1/8 of an inch bigger. Or if you have nesting dies, you could use the appropriate size to die cut your square. All right, so this is going to be 5 1/8. By 3 7/8. Okay. Add our adhesive. And then last but not least, we are just going to add we're going to add our focal image. I'm not going to use any dimensionals because I'm going to on this one as well. That was a big move. Okay. That's copper. And the last element I'm going to go in, this is our metallic enamel effects in gold. And I'm going to go ahead and add 1, 2, 3. I like to observe the rule of 3. All right, guys, so we have done our 5 cards this evening. It's going to have to dry. Oh, let me share with you before I what I was telling you about saving these die cuts. Okay, so I'm not going to use this envelope for that card. I'm just going to grab a piece of a basic white envelope. Right? And you know how I love to say there are no naked envelopes. Well, what I tend to do is I'm going to have our shape, our outline, right? I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to need a little piece. And all this is, the purpose of this is just to block this off so that I don't overextend my blending. All right. And then I think that is definitely Mossy Meadow. So I'm going to go grab my Mossy Meadow ink pad. I'm going to grab me a blending brush. Okay. And be very careful. And all this is going to be used for is for your envelope. And you have extended your design from your card to your envelope. I'm just trying to make sure I don't go anywhere else. And the lighter you get on the inside, it's only because that's where you're going to have to write your address, right? So you want to be very careful. Unless, of course, you think they're going to put a label over it, then, of course, it doesn't really matter, right? Check that out. So now we've got this gorgeous envelope that matches our card. So again, this is why when I tell you keep at least one of them, you can use it as a mask, or for stenciling, you can use it as a stencil, because I think that's the appropriate term. That would be the stencil that you just created there. But guys, that's it for us for this evening, the 5 cards that we made. So I'm going to bring them all back out for you so you can see them. And I'm always going to put the designs from the company. Oops. I did not put a sentiment on that, but of course I can. I could use just a note. Here's our birthday. Here's our second. And here's our third. So these are the 3 cards that we created this evening. The 5 cards we created today using the December 2024 Paper Pumpkin Kit, Just a Note. I don't know if you can see them all. Can you see them all? There you go. All right, guys, again, I am Caron Bailey, your independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, the ATX Stampin' Lady. I hope you enjoyed our presentation this evening. If this is your first time crafting or card making, I hope this has spurred an interest in you to go ahead and try this as a hobby, or and I use it generally as a way to relieve my stress and from the workday. But if it's something you're interested, please reach out to me. I'll put all of the contact information in our description box. And if you are going to purchase anything from my online store, please remember to use the host code. For December, this host code will expire on December 31st. But here is our host code. And please use this for any order that's $149 or less. I want to make sure that you are the one that receives your hostess benefits. So if you place an order $150 to $50 or more, reach out to me so that I can help you to get the most bang for your buck. Guys, thanks for joining me again tonight. I appreciate you all. And y'all have a wonderful evening and happy stamping.